Okay, I'm going to do a few exercises on random number worksheet number 3. This is the opposite of what you had to do on random worksheets numbers 1 and 2. Here in exercise 1, we're given a formula that's already been filled in for generating a random number. The question is, between what low and high endpoints is this formula giving me a random number between? Well, I have the formula. Actually, we know what low is. See that? Low must be 1. So I'm just going to put the low in here of 1. Because the formula always ends with plus low. And that's just the way that works. So 5 must be equal to whatever high minus low plus 1 is. So I'm going to write that out as an algebraic statement. High minus low plus 1 equals 5. Because that's what that number simplified to. And since I know what low is already, low is this 1 right here, I can plug it in for the low in my formula. So I end up with high by substitution. Math teachers would say high minus 1 plus 1 is equal to 5. Now it's just a matter of doing algebra. High minus 1 plus 1, I can subtract 1 from both sides, and I end up with high minus 1 equals 4. And I need more room here. High, now I add 1 to both sides, and I end up with high equals 5. I didn't do all of the algebraic steps here, like I didn't show all my work. I trust that you're a solid algebra student if you made it this far in 9th grade to Visual Basic. So the answer there to number 1 is a low of 1 and a high of 5. Let's look at number 2 here on this worksheet because it looks a little bit trickier. On number 2, I'm given this finished equation. Well, this number right here is known to be the low, so 10 is the low. Plugging that into my formula, high minus low plus 1 equals 5. This 5 right here is the simplification of all that. Plugging that 10 in for the low by substitution leads me to this step. High minus 10 plus 1 equals 5. If I subtract 1 from both sides here, I have high minus 10 equals 4. And if I now add 10 to both sides, I end up with high equals 14. So the answer to number 2 is a 10 and a 14 in those two fill in the blanks. Notice in number 3 that there is no low. In other words, low must be, you guessed it, 0. The plus 0 just isn't typed out, so you already know half of your answer here. The low is 0. And when you go and plug that 0 into the low in your formula, you'll just plug a 0 in. Oh, and number 4, the low is negative 2 because of the minus 2 outside the parentheses. So be sure to put a negative 2 in for low when you do your substitution here. And number 6 is a little tricky because you have the small number 1, but I think you can do it. Number 7, that is tricky. You can't really use the formula to do number 7. That's just a good thinking exercise that usually separates the A's from the B's. And somebody with the initials MB should not be in the eSchool Plus right now. It is 2:10 p.m. and he's supposed to be doing his homework in this class. Number 8, very few people ever get that one right. Let that be a challenge to anybody who ever watches this video and thinks that they're a good up-and-coming Visual Basic programmer, software developer, taking one of these good jobs that are available to people in anywhere in computer science related fields. If you can get number 8 right, you are on the way to stardom. If you get it wrong, but try hard, we can still lead you to success, so don't give up hope.